here joined with Mr. Celso Put, who's the director of the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center, as well as Jamal Andrin Bone, got that correct, Conservation Program Manager at the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center. We're here talking about a celebration that's happening. So good morning to both of you, gentlemen. Welcome, Mr. Put, to our couch, and welcome back, Jamal.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
It's how much time, Renata? Third time that
My
he's
people,
here.
it is the third time Jamal is here, so
out.
you know what that means. He's gonna dance. At the ending of the segment, we'll be preparing a song for him, and sadly, Mr. Put has been caught in the crossfire.
Put in the chat, which song we want to dance?
Oh, you know what, for you?
That day.
Let's have the interaction from the Belizeans, you know, from our viewers, our beautiful supporters. What do you want them to dance? So what we don't want to see Jamal do? We don't want to stand up and do it. We don't.
Just to put Jamal on the spot. The celebration. So what are we celebrating?
We're celebrating from now.
I guess the celebration will begin right inside Channel 7 studio, huh?
How are we going from there? So, yes, we're going to be talking about the founder of the Belize Zoo. I mean, just been a wonder.
Yes. So, what we're doing to celebrate Sharon's contribution to wildlife conservation in Belize, and also to give thanks to the Belizean public who have supported us over the years, especially over the past 2 years during COVID, is Sharon Matola Day at the Belize Zoo. We decided to honor Sharon by setting aside the Saturday closest to June 3rd, so the first Saturday in the month. June 3rd is her birthday, and so to honor her, we're celebrating Sharon Matola Day at the zoo. What this means is Belizean will come to the zoo, and entrance fee is free.
Okay.
Love it.
Right? So we're giving back to the Belizean, but also this is something I know that Sharon would have really wanted to do, to give back to Belizeans, to show appreciation. But we're putting a little twist to it.
Okay.
We want Belizean coming to the zoo that day, bring some in-kind contribution. So some fresh fruit, some fresh veggies, fresh eggs, fresh meat. And just so you know, the animals at the zoo eat top notch. So don't bring leftovers.
I love it.
Bring a
right?
beans for yesterday.
I am dying.
Right?
So
No,
fresh
it's very important that we stress that to you guys and to the public, that the animals at the zoo eat the best. They eat good. They don't talk. So when they're sick, we really have to find out. The vets, they have to work very hard to find out what is going on with them.
Yeah.
And one way we can avoid that is by giving them fresh, healthy food.
Very true. But I like the idea because you could bring your own like fruit or vegetables or meat, and you could feed the animals and all that.
That is how the zoo started, actually. So people used to come to the zoo free, and they used to bring donations. So they drop off something at the zoo, and even during the pandemic, we had people doing that. So we had farmers dropping off veggies at the gate for us. We had friends calling, donating ducks, a cow, sheep, different things, and we utilize all of those. And so that is really the background, the foundation of how the zoo started, because remember, it wasn't a planned zoo.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned for a zoo. And when you have 20 animals in your care and limited resources, how do you feed them? And so a lot of donation was what helped started the zoo, and that is what we want to keep alive. So to keep Sharon's impact and what she started alive, we're just replicating that almost 40 years later.
So this is the first celebration of this kind.
Correct. This is the
first ever Sharon Matola Day.
The inauguration year of Sharon Matola Day.
Okay.
I love
great.
it.
So every year moving forward, every first Saturday
We can
in June.
expect that. And it's going to be the same energy where we just come in free, but we bring a contribution. Maybe, you know, like spice it up a little bit sometimes or so. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
no, spice
what happened is on that day, the entire staff at the zoo will be on site, management. So Jamal and I will probably be in our costumes that day, entertaining kids.
Oh, I also have a song. Somebody said, follow my ding, ding, ding. So I just want to know that little one would play, yeah?
No, but we'll be on site. We'll be on site and interacting with our guests, interacting with those visiting the zoo that day. So we'll be by the tapirs, by the jaguar, by the toucan, by the scarlet macaws, just interacting and sharing with the guests.
Oh, so it's going to be a real time where you can be able to see the family that makes up the Belize Zoo.
Right.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Sharon Matola and the conservation impact that she's had in Belize for the Belize Zoo. Can you talk a little bit about her legacy? So I don't know if Jamal want to take over that because you're the next son, or you were mistaken for his son often, so her son often. So you want to go into that?
Well, I can speak very briefly from my personal experience. So my first interaction with Sharon was attending conservation camp, zoo camp, which is, I'm jumping ahead of the gun, but for those who have been keen to know, we're actually rekindling zoo camp this year for the first time since 2019. So, yeah, fourth time, see? Fourth time.
Fourth time, there we go.
So Celso ran conservation camp when I was a teenager, and I would come every summer during high school. So it's a program that we take on 20 to 30 Belizean teenagers for a whole week at our zoo lodge at the Tropical Education Center. And the first time I met Sharon was during an interaction with Panama, the harpy eagle. So Celso had set up a contest for the campers, and a couple of us who won got the opportunity to go and actually meet this iconic species. It's, the largest and most powerful eagle, there we go, in the Americas. And everyone knew who Sharon was, everyone knew who the founder was, but we hadn't got to meet her in person. So meeting Sharon and interacting with Panama was one of those kind of impactful moments in my career. I was already studying science at high school, but it encouraged me to pursue biology and so on. So I went on to study biology at the associate, undergraduate, and master level, and ended up coming back to work at the zoo and to help carry on that mission of impacting the next generation of scientists, of explorers, of pioneers in this field that emulated what Sharon and then by extension Celso and all the staff that have come up at the zoo have laid down. So I would say a living example of Sharon's impact. A very small case study for you of what she has laid down and left behind for the country of Belize.
I mean, we have the littlest, biggest zoo. How is it?
The best little zoo in the world.
Could you tell us about the dynamics, the amount of species that we have? Because we have international viewers who might not know about the zoo.
We started off with 20, you said, right?
Right. So
animals.
What is unique about the zoo is that we're more like a rescue center than a zoo.
Okay.
Right? But globally, the image of zoos, they're trying to change that because zoo are more center for conservation science. We contribute a lot to species that are at the risk of extinction. And they're usually there's usually partnership with zoos and in situ research. So zoo match up with researchers in the field, and we try to save species. So the zoo have only animals that you can find in Belize.
Okay.
So we have no exotics.
No giraffe?
No giraffe, exotics.
No zebra, no lion. We just have native wildlife.
Okay.
And how we get them at the zoo, they are rescued. They're orphaned, injured.
A lot of them are confiscated.
Confiscated.
Wildlife trade.
Okay.
Right.
A couple of them are born there, but the majority are rescued. This is their second home. And when our partners who do specialize in wildlife rehab, they can take an animal, rehab it, release it. They often get animals that are non-releasable that they pass on to us to have a long-term home.
Right. So, and if we get animals that are releasable, we release them as well. So a lot of people don't know that is something that we also do. We've released several different species of wildlife back into the wild. It's not something that we announce and make public because for different reasons, right? But the zoo is not about having animals in captivity. I mean, one of the dreams is that one day we'll be able to see animals out wild and free without having to go up a big exploration, big expedition, big hikes. That there'll be, and that's a part of the plan, the long-term plan for the zoo. So landscape conservation is a long-term plan for the zoo.
Nice. I'm seeing all the visions can slowly just manifest and unfold slowly from there too as well.
And still in the way of contributing to it, the event happening this Saturday, you have a chance to give back to our zoo. To our animals as well, no?
Well, also, we're giving more as well. So we also have another component, which is a scholarship fund.
Oh. Okay.
So, and because of what Sharon represented, we're still working out the details, but annually we'll give out a scholarship to one Belizean female to study natural resource management, environmental science, biology, or even the vet tech program that Galen has to offer. So The zoo will be setting that up shortly. And that's another way we're giving back to honor Sharon's contribution to wildlife conservation in Belize.
Wow, I think that is really beautiful. Like that, man, that's powerful too as well.
And you got overlooks the whole zoo eventually.
Yeah.
How much scholarships given away after a while, and then you know.
And they definitely
Right.
can see these people come back to the camp. Like
Yes.
do a
Well,
regularly
the zoo-
Jamal kind of finish.
The zoo have a great impact. I mean, on a lot of people. A lot of people in the conservation field in Belize started out somewhere at the zoo, whether as a camper at like Jamal, or some of them do their high school experience, because in the 90s and early 2000s, we had a structured program for high schoolers that went to the zoo to do work experience. And a lot of them will tell you the zoo really helped them, because we didn't only focus on animals. There's a wide field in conservation biology, in wildlife management, natural resource management. So there's a lot that we expose students to. Sadly, that ran out of funding. It took a lot of money to run that program, but quite a number of Belizean conservationists started out at the zoo. And we're kickstarting the fundraising for Sharon Matola Scholarship. The shirts that you're seeing, these are collectibles. They'll only be available at the zoo, and we will have those on sale on Saturday.
Okay.
So there are 3 designs, and we have several colors. They're going for $50 Belize a piece, and you can get them Saturday if you visit the zoo.
All right. So, what time does this celebration begin?
As soon as the zoo opens.
The zoo opens at 8:30, and last entrance is at 4.
Okay.
So
So
all day
the-
Saturday.
Oh, I can imagine how packed up in the must park. How much food the animals must get.
Their belly must have full. Yeah, so they sit down like.
We're hoping for that, but we're also hoping that Belizean will reach, that they'll
Yeah.
come out and appreciate the zoo. They have contributed, as I said, significantly. Between 2020 and 2021, we got more than 55,000 Belizeans visiting the zoo during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Yeah. They had nowhere else to go.
I mean,
We had a
It's
captive
not
audience.
even that. It's like
But
I think
the
the zoo is
support,
a
I think
beautiful
the support-
sport,
that's it.
though.
That's it. The support.
One of the things that came through was, any NGO or any organization often does self-reflection, and we do these analysis, your SWOT and so on, and you look and you try to decide whether or not you are effective, if you're reaching your stakeholders and so on, your community. That for us, I think that question was answered during the pandemic, when the zoo, like many other NGOs, was truly struggling.
Yeah.
And really, from a day-to-day basis, we weren't sure if we were going to make it. And as much as we have always had international support, and we still had some during the pandemic, the fact that the whole world was feeling it at the same time made it less. Our international supporters had less ability to support us as they had in the past. It was truly the significant, big portion of our survival was due to Belizeans. So in other words, Belizeans refused to see the zoo fail. They didn't allow us to go under. They didn't allow the animals to go wanting, the staff to go wanting. So if we were ever wondering, Belizeans appreciate the zoo or the country, understand what the zoo do, the answer was yes.
Yes.
The answer was a resounding yes and remains a resounding yes. So we're grateful to now be able to start giving back, now that we're getting back on our feet with, something as simple as this
Destabilized now,
day,
so.
the scholarship funds also was mentioned. We want to go back to being able to put in our social responsibility as we have in the past with all of our programs. So we're getting back to that now.
We're stabilizing now with it. And I love the scholarship. I
we're
love
still
the fact
struggling,
that-
but we're getting ahead.
I mean, you know what happened
Cutting
overnight.
the way
You take a
forward.
little
It's
time
nice,
and everything.
yeah.
And this also is a call for people, guys. If you wonder where or what do this Saturday, we're going to zoo.
Agric done, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we
Thank
go.
you, Jamal. Agric Dawn, guys, you could get a nice collectible t-shirt that's only going to be at the zoo too as well. And we have different colors and design and everything
yeah.
too as well. So you can pick one for you. You could match it with your child. Imagine that, take a picture right there, selfie and everything, take it off and put it on right there and put on the Wally picture.
They'll be in costumes together with
Oh,
them.
yes, so which one y'all wear? I don't know.
Let's see if we can find the Sharon's Jaguar outfit.
First of all, you all wear one too, right?
We're still working on it, but
The politician's answer.
It's not like you to try and wear it. But I do want to ask too as well, because I got Jamal's perspective, but for you worked longer with Miss Sharon's. What was it like, working with her? What did she really stand for when it came to conservation, preservation, like taking care of these animals and all this? Like, what was her vision when it comes to the zoo?
So I would talk from a personal perspective. So I am just a couple months short at 27 years at the zoo.
Wow.
I kind of grew up at the zoo.
Before I banned one, so.
But I started out at the zoo as an educator. And I must give credit to my predecessor, Mrs. Myrtle Flowers, who was a retired teacher and headed the education department. And so my interaction with Sharon came later on because I had more interaction with Miss Myrtle.
Okay.
But when Miss Myrtle retired, I succeeded her. And so then I had a daily interaction with Sharon. In 2008, I became the operations manager for the zoo. And so I had day and night interaction with Sharon because managing the zoo is not an 8 to 5 job. It's a 24/7 job, 7 days a week.
Right.
And so our interaction was on a daily basis. I'm grateful to the zoo. Unlike some people who they try figure out their career, I was able to charter a career with Sharon's support at the zoo. So a master's in zoology and also completing a PhD in wildlife management and conservation. All because of the zoo. And all because I had Sharon supporting me. So she saw the need, and one of the things I always say, just imagine we'll have a PhD on our staff. But in wildlife conservation and ecology, it's not just
The paper itself.
Right. We have the field experience, we have the work to back it up as well. And so her impact on me has been like really, really immeasurable. I mean, she put a lot of trust in me from 2008 when I started running the zoo. And on a daily basis, like I said, I mean, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. Yeah.
I could say that the pride jumping
Yeah.
out at all from
Yeah.
all of that experience and training and
Yeah.
what you learned from her as
And
well.
how she was so supportive right behind you, knowing there's a need. And also, just like Jamal, seeing that spark in you and then just pushing it, just like fueling it up and being there with that. And I think that's so beautiful. And that's why I'm hoping to see, other women out, because the scholarship is going to be coming up soon. And you can be able to start that spark in you, be able to continue in her legacy, because it's impact that she's made in for conservation for animals, the way we think about taking care of zoos more than just as somewhere you can just go and pet the animals or see them. We're taking care, like you said, you rehabilitate these animals, and sometimes, they are able to go back into the wildlife. So it's a bigger image that people actually understand.
Correct. Right. The zoo is more than what you see when you go there. I mean, I always say prior to the pandemic, we had 58 employees. Today, we're up to 42. We went down as low as 32.
Oh, wow.
So we're up back to 42 right now. And so we're still not at full force working, but we're still doing a lot. I mean, we still respond to rescue animals. We still accept rescued or injured animals. And those are things that are on plan. Those are incidents that are on plan. And we're still dealing with those things.
Speaking on not that idea, but that issue there, how does one go ahead and report either injured animals or illegal trading animals?
That's a very good question because most people think of the zoo, right? However, that falls under the mandate of the forest department.
Okay.
So there's a wildlife officer and the forest department. We act and move on behalf of the forest department.
Okay.
Right? And so a lot of people sometimes fail to realize that the zoo is a non-profit NGO. We're not government.
Right.
But we do work side by side with the government, especially in instances where we have to go and rescue an animal. We have the technical capacity, we have the expertise to restrain, to get the animal and bring them to the vet clinic, because we do have a vet clinic on site as well, where we can provide the service and care they need.
Okay, so
and
your second
for
line
the-
in defense, basically.
Right. So you mentioned rescue and illegal aspects. So the rescue would be, contacting the zoo or any of the wildlife centers, and we can refer it if it's, if it's closer to, if it's a species that's closer to one of our colleagues. But
Okay.
in case of illegal incidents, that's definitely
Forestry.
forestry. Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll deal with that because I'm not sure if people know which one illegal and one not illegal, but
Right.
Well, it's illegal to have wildlife as pets, period.
General.
It's
So
across
parrots
the
and those
board.
things.
Yeah.
parrot,
Yeah.
anything there?
Parrots
Yeah.
as well. Parrots, there was a program.
Amnesty
several
period.
Yeah, several years ago where
Oh, okay.
You
you had
could
a
get
parrot
a
that
permit
the bill
to have,
Okay.
right? But that's finished.
expired. So
So-
if you get if you get handed a baby parrot, no, that's illegal. Or if you have any other wildlife.
I asked because mango season they on and my yard right now terrorized by parrots, parrots and parakeets.
So you'll call Jamal to go help?
I don't even know because mango that they go.
You could bring that
All
same
they
mango
do,
to the
they
zoo.
pick,
Yes.
they pick leaf holes and then the mango rotten and drop. And I'm just like,
Obviously, you know the parrots. Like, so no, you know that the mango we need to care Saturday. That's it.
maybe that's exactly
You
what
see?
I'll do.
You see?
You have to be fresh to have to climb the tree.
Yeah. The freshest one.
So I
You don't have to climb and risk yourself, man. They have these little fruit hooks where you just pull them.
Or that.
Yeah.
Or that.
Not risk yourself.
It's all right. I did it. I'll
But
call you,
you
Mr.
don't want to have the whole, you don't want to have the whole wildlife experience for you to climb mango tree.
So we're going to Zoom, Mama.
But as we're wrapping up this segment, gentlemen, is there any final words you want to just, continue to sell the idea of coming out this Saturday? Or, I know you're going to come on back to talk about the camp or anything that you want, any final words you want to give to our viewers at home to let them understand, the importance of coming out to the zoo, supporting. I actually have a viewer here with it. They sell the zoo and they talk about how they don't even go to Agric for go see bullers, so they need to go right to the zoo.
That's excellent.
Literally, like, I have that. So it's I love it. I love it here. So
What I'd like to share for Belizeans to understand about Sharon, those that didn't know her, was, for one, Sharon was a Belizean. She was a naturalized citizen. She spent more than half her life here. She loved Belize. She dedicated her career and her life, and the zoo was made for Belizeans, truly. Although we get international visitors, it's for Belizeans. Most of our programs that are subsidized and made accessible are for high schoolers, tour guides, teachers, all the local stakeholders. So Sharon really advocated for wildlife, but on behalf of the Belizeans that benefit from it, from our country. So that's what we want people to understand when they walk through the gates on Saturday and any other day, that this was truly made for us. And it's a gift to us. It's for us to carry forward. And any connection they make with the animals at the zoo, the ones that people leave knowing the names, April, Junior Body, we have Panama. When they leave with that, we hope that when they make those connections, that they try to find ways in their own careers and their own spheres of influence to advocate for the protection of those animals in the wild. So that's what they ultimately represent. So every time you see a jaguar at the zoo or so on, we think about how can we ensure that those animals in wild places remain as well. So start, thinking outside the box as far as that. And you don't have to be in our field to do that. The zoo is built and is kept alive by people in media, people in business, people in different careers that, again, use their spheres of influence to ensure that our natural resources are protected. So that's one of the most important things we want people to
advocacy,
lead.
yeah. When you use them TikToks and all, and
That's
then
right.
Instagram and every single thing that love a post about the zoo, post about animals, of how we have to lead them in their habitat too as well, because people want to go and they try interfast and touch and do all kind of thing. We don't need no illegal animals, guys. Stick to the dogs and cats. I think they're the only two ones who are really the thing, but when have it like that. Mr. Foot, any final words? Remember, you guys have to dance, so just reminding you on that.
On the couch, right?
On the couch, and it'd be nice, but
You'd
the
be
fourth
like Tom
time...
Cruise and jump up,
You could be like, yeah, you could do that too as well. Guys, remember the song is Follow My Ding Ding Ding. That's the way, that's the first comment we got, and I'm going with the first because, first... Early bird get the worm,
Yes.
so because we're going to zoo
And the
kind of
suggestions
thing.
probably get more dangerous as you go lower, so let's go with that one.
One of the things that we get regularly on the weekends is weekend free at the zoo, because when you go to some of the national
Sunday is
parks
free,
and so Sunday is free. No, because the animal eat every day.
Yep.
We have to feed her, right?
That's very
But this
true.
is one day that we're making it free for Belizeans. So if you like it free, come to the zoo Saturday. Saturday
know if you
is
like
free,
free.
right?
Bring the leaf food for the animals.
Right. It's a day that we're giving back to Belizeans. We really appreciate it, but we also want to make sure that the legacy that Sharon built stay alive and that she's not forgotten She was the pioneer, she was the visionary behind the Belize Zoo and Tropical Education Center.
All right.
So keeping the legacy alive, guys. Come out. It's a free day. Bring the mango back on a yard. Whatever it is that you're growing, but fresh meat as well. We want fresh thing because the animals, they only like good thing. So please make sure to understand. No kind of half refried thing, fried chicken from somewhere. None of that to work. Okay? Healthy food for our animals. They're only getting the best because the best little zoo
In the world.
in the world, period. So please make sure you guys come out to honor Miss Sharon, and as well just to be able to buy the t-shirts, interact. We're gonna see Jamal and Mr. put in the Lee animal outfits and everything. They might dance the same song that they dance right now, and we don't know, guys. It's all up for surprise and grabs. Oh!
So not follow me ding ding.
So not follow me ding ding, but okay, I guess. But you know what? We have to go with the flow.
That's a dance.
Okay. Come on, Jamal. Hey,
All right, there we go.
Okay.
There we go. I find this
Mr. Put the
amazing.
teacher, I just want you to know that.
I really never know what it is.
You never know.
Guys, they spring that one up on we told we
But
don't
you know what?
where
I kind of
we're at.
like that song. I just want to know out to all of we. I think Mr. Put the best dance out to all of we.
The one who never want dance,
The one who never get rope into it was better than all of us. But